Mic check. Yeah, but it's real bad lag. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to work on this. Okay, so what's y'all thoughts on Black Panther? I'm still working over here, try to get this to sync better, so I don't hear myself talking in my ear 30 seconds after I say something. Well, I guess I'm not gonna worry about the lag in my ear. Um, the question we have to ask is, what's the significance of the time that the movie is released? I haven't seen it either, and I'm probably not going to see it. What's the significance of the time that the movie is released? I haven't seen it either. I'm probably not going to see it. You work for an art distribution center that has awesome pictures of people who look as though they can into the fullness of God. Okay, you got to explain that. Pictures of people who look as though characters of people who look as though they well, real quick, this thing about Black Panther is it's released on 2016. I'm sorry, not 2016, but February 16th. So all I've seen is the characters. So they have been fully activated. Oh, okay, I got you. Y'all have to excuse me why I'm talking so slow, because this shit keeps playing back in my ear 30 damn seconds after I've said it, and I'm trying to say something else, and it's fucking up my train of thought. Um, let's just hash this out. Maybe if I just stop listening to myself. Black Panther comes out February 16th. I wonder if it's because I got the computer's audio going and it's competing with the video, the webcam. I don't know. The debate with Sanchez and Farrow happened. Well, I ain't too much concerned about no debating. February 16th, the okay, let's talk about this whole flat Earth thing. You got to ask yourself something. Where do these things come from out the blue? And you got to go back in your memory bank and ask, when did the conversation first start about the Earth being flat? And then we have to consider the whole idea of debating, period, as it relates to what's the ultimate reality, what's the ultimate end game strategy of you being awake, aware, conscious, whatever you want to call it. What's the point? And if there's an actual point, and which there is, and it's defined in everywhere you can look, it's defined as the same purpose, then we got to ask ourselves, if the Earth was a bowl of ramen noodles, flat, round, hollow, a rectangle, what would it matter with the ultimate goal of what our consciousness is supposed to be? So I want to pose this question to the chat room. What's the purpose of consciousness? Anybody like to give a brief few word answer, or it can be a one word answer? What's the point of consciousness? Can y'all still hear me? If anybody can hear me, press 1 so I know. Okay. The question is, what's the point of consciousness? I want somebody to give me your idea of what's the point of it in as few words as you can. Here's my question. Moving without moving. I still, okay, let's deal with what some of, okay, so Conscious Thinker said the feeling of absolute truth with no affirmation. Okay. Sister Dunlap said Khan is extremely put energy into justness is to know. The point is to elevate through extreme studying in a desired area. Okay. And then we've got us a flat earther who says the earth is not spheroid. What I'm trying to connect is whether the earth is a sphere or flat or it's a donut from Krispy Kreme. How does that factor into what is the ultimate purpose of consciousness? What if I just didn't care whether the earth was flat or round? What if it doesn't matter to me? Because what if I say that it's a distraction to even have the conversation, to even be debating about it? Where does that leave us? If the whole conversation is a distraction, what does it have to do with the ultimate purpose of consciousness? And I'm going to put the ultimate purpose as expansion. So if expansion is my idea of the ultimate purpose, then we're watchmen of the purpose. When the smoke clears, who shall be able to stand? I don't know, I guess that's rhetorical. If expansion is the ultimate, what's up, Sir Big Head? If expansion is the ultimate purpose, then what is the best way to expand? I want to put that question out. If expansion, let's just humor me and let's say that maybe expansion is the ultimate purpose. Then how do you expand? Come on now. question I'm posing in the chat is if expansion is the order of the day in 3 words or less, how can you expand? What's up, Sister Erica? Peace. Almighty. The question we're posing, if expansion... Okay, so Sir Big Head said observe and assimilate. I'm going to throw this out. The best way to expand is to contract. Does that make sense? Does anybody out there know about weight training? Weightlifting? If I want to grow a muscle, how do I grow it? What are the 2 things that go into a muscle growing? No, not observation of the contractions. You must become you are automatically a contraction by being a human. Here's the thing. If I want my biceps to get bigger, I have to go through a process of contracting and expanding the muscle. That's called flexion and extension. I flex my elbow, it makes my bicep shorten and contract. I extend my elbow and it makes my bicep expand. The process of me doing that repeatedly and then giving myself the nourishment that I need to replenish the muscle fibers that I tear down is what makes the muscle grow. And that simple analogy is the whole purpose of everything that you're involved in. That's how simple it is. You are stretching and contracting a series of muscles, of entities, of states, however you want to term it. That's the purpose. So when in this conversation, if a person can't make it that simple, then they may be purposely trying to mislead you. Or maybe they just don't know. So then that brings us back to Black Panther. Why does that come out on February 16th? Start of the Chinese New Year. And we have to pay attention to dates because 2016 was Super Bowl 50. 50 is 5, it's a number of Christ. And you had a major ritual that goes down in that Super Bowl. You have, interesting, 47th day of the year. You have the Carolina Panthers, who are in Super Bowl 50 in something called Levi Stadium in the city of San Francisco, where the Golden Gate Bridge is located. Okay, so it is the new Cam, or the new lot of Camelot, Cam Newton, had to be sacrificed Super Bowl 50. Now, it was also the 50th anniversary of the founding of the Black Panther Party, 1966. Okay, so they raised up this guy all year. He was the kitten's caboodle. Cam Newton, Cam Newton, oh Cam. Everybody loves Cam. And they got him in the Super Bowl and they sacrificed him to the Bronco. Okay, Bronco would be synonymous with Pegasus. And we had Peyton Manning wearing number 18, who would ride off into the sunset. So he would be anointed. That was his moment to be a Christ figure, where he fed on the energy of Mr. Cam Newton. So then we fast forward to 2018, and you've got all of the fanfare about the new movie Black Panther. Now I want to tell you two things about this. If you are in the situation where you're new to any of this information and you feel this overt sense of pride and awareness about this movie comes out called Black Panther, and that's great for you. But if you have been in this thing and a little more seasoned, then you'll know it's the same story told over and over. Like Brother Panic says, there's only one story, okay? And it's just told in a million different ways. So you have to, and I'm talking to the more learned of you, step back and ask yourself, what's the reason that Disney, who owns ESPN, who owns ABC, and a host of other, they own A&E. I mean, we can go on and on and on. This media conglomerate, which is responsible for crucifying the image of black men in media so many times throughout a year you can't even count. So why would they put out this movie that's supposed to empower you through you rekindling this sense of pride in who you are? Now, you think about something, how all this is connected. Everything is done on the level of symbolism and ritual. Okay, so I haven't seen the movie, but I got a homeboy. He's the Siskel and Ebert of right on, Sister Erica. Yes, you contract, you expand. He's a Siskel and Ebert of the hood, and he'll break down the movie. So pretty much he gave me the breakdown of what all was the details, and that's all I needed. I don't really need to go and see it. But he did mention the correlation between the panther and the jaguar and the leopard. And it's interesting, you follow the football playoffs and how the Jaguars should have beat New England Patriots. And they're sacrificed so that the Patriots could go to the Super Bowl and meet up against the Eagles. Eagles being the Scottish Rite Freemasonry, and I don't know if the Patriots, maybe they were representing Rosicrucian order. So it was the time for Scottish Rite to take back the reins. So Eagles come out on top. But you see that the Jaguar needed to be sacrificed. And then just a few days later, this movie comes out. I mean, you know, everything's connected. So you go back and look at Cam Newton, how he was raised up throughout that whole season when they went to the Super Bowl. And that is the phallus that is rising up through erection. Okay? And then the phallus, which would then be the same as a skyscraper, and that skyscraper has to get knocked down. But by that skyscraper getting knocked down, you now have this new working canvas to make into whatever you want to make it into, some new edifice. Okay, so I want you to understand how ritual works. So you put out this feel-good movie, and I'm saddened to say that I already see what's been going on and what's going on and what's going to continue to go on. You're going to see more and more black men popping up in the news doing crazy shit. You know, we got a black police officer down here, and I think it was at Fort Worth. Well, oh, excuse me. He, I don't know if they gave him life or something for killing some unarmed Mexican guy. Now look, I want you to think about the science behind this. Now you know we've had all of the George Zimmerman, we've had all the Eric Garner, Freddie Gray, and all of this, and these guys, there's nothing happens. But then this black guy comes, and it's with a Mexican guy, and they put this motherfucker up under the jail. Okay? This is a war of, this is a subconscious war, and it's a symbolic war that's being put forth. Now, you're going to see more and more of, in the news, it looking like black men are just complete savages. And it really kind of started to build up in 2014 with all of the different NFL players who were put into the spotlight about domestic abuse. You had Ray McDonald, you had Greg Hardy, you had the Ray Rice thing. So you got to pay attention to trends, and you got to pay attention to the trends and see how things are developing. Ray Rice, Ray McDonald, Greg Hardy. I mean, it was a whole host in 2014. Why is it all of a sudden in that particular time all of these things come out? Yeah, but see, we're not talking about the details. Don't get bogged down in the details. He stole a pistol. He stole something. That's not the point. The point is these situations are set up, is what I'm trying to say. They're set up. You don't all of a sudden have these things happening in a certain space, and it's just, oh, well, it was because this happened and that. These things are choreographed because they have to fit in with a series of rituals to fit a season that we're in. Because something has to be diverted. Okay, Sir Big Head says Neptune starts its retrograde on the 26th too. People are deaf about to pop off. They're already popping off. But yeah, I think we saying shut like the gates of 1134. Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that one. I have to go and look that up. Saying shut like the gates of 1134. Yeah, I didn't hear that one. I had to open the portal of hell. No, that's the last thing. That's the last thing they want to do, is open the portal of hell. Don't be fooled. They don't want to open up no hell. Let's and understand what hell is really talking about. Everybody needs to maybe take a look at that new series. Excuse me. Altered Carbon. It just came out. I mean, you can look at anything. I'm gonna tell you what the real deal is. The real deal, the real conspiracy is against death. That's the real conspiracy. And they showed it with Jack Kevorkian, where they were getting on him because he was helping people who wanted to check out. He was like, okay, well, pay me and I'll help you check on out. You got to ask yourself, why is it you can buy poison food anywhere? You can give yourself alcohol poisoning if you want, any day of the week. And then they might say, oh, you can't get none on Sunday in some places. Okay, why is it you can do that, and then they're worried about somebody providing assisted suicide, when our whole society is nothing but assisted suicide? And why is it that certain Asians are walking around with masks on? I don't know if y'all see that in where you live, but I was talking to one of my homeboys today, and I definitely have noticed it. Why are they wearing masks? What do they know? So, I mean, you got all these things going on. So there's a conspiracy against death. So, because the key is you need to stay trapped in the wheel of incarnation so that you can be food for something that can't go beyond this reality to feed on you. They just want to create panic so that they can slither around in it. They fear an end. They just want to true facts. Facts. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Don't get distracted by a lot of the things, these debates and the this group against that group. And man, I'm telling you, I think these cats getting paid just to divert attention in 1 million different directions. When there's only one point of all of this. God remembering that it's God, and that's by expanding, contracting, expanding, that muscle getting bigger through pressure. You know, when you lifting weights, you putting yourself under pressure, you know, and that's how you grow new muscle. And you know, so they'll put out so many different things, have you arguing about, is the earth flat, is the earth round? And it's like, wait a minute, just step back and just say, okay, the earth is flat. Now how has my life changed within the next 5 minutes? Okay. Brianna said, when someone passes, do you think the assister benefits? Now explain what you mean by assister. You talking about like somebody like Kevorkian who's assisting them in the suicide? Okay, Conscious Thinker says, I heard someone within breathing room of you is part of you forever. They know about them gates. Agents probably had the highest rate of demonic possession. Don't know if it's the complexity of genes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, versus the regular thing we fight, clean food and water. Um, okay, Sister Dunlap, I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding. Okay, yeah, versus the regular thing we fight, clean food and water. Okay, so you're saying the people who are basically poisoning the air and food and so forth, you're saying are they benefiting from people dying? Cause and effect. Well, I think it's what we're talking about is a degree of vampirism. You know, there's a brother, they just put up something on the Jed TV. I think they got 3 channels: Serious Times, the Jed TV, Taos TV. It's the Ark of Sophis TV. whoever is the main cause of death, do you think they benefit from it majorly? To a degree, yes. But I think what they benefit more from is the state of mind that they can keep you in until you die. So that you die and you die lacking a certain amount of awareness, so that you can get snatched back into the wheel. And then you go through another life lost. You die, you get snatched back into the wheel. So the more expansion you can gain in your mind while you're living, then the more choice you have in your quote unquote death of how you're gonna move. Their goal is for people to never have time to reflect on anything while they are living. You know, on your job, they talk about this work-life balance, and there's no such thing. I watch them at work, and there's, I could never, it's not for me to be, a Fortune 500 mogul, because it's never enough. You're always chasing the next dollar. And there's never any contentment. It's every day. It's just we're trying to get there. We're trying progress. So, when do you have time to actually reflect? And I see these young people on the job, and they're walking all around there strutting like a motherfucking butterball turkey, and they're all excited thinking that they're building their career, and they're gonna, the rat race. And they're thinking they're gonna get somewhere, and they're gonna, and they'll make some more money and this and that, and they'll have a bunch of failed relationships and, all types of fucked up habits that they can't kick and whatever, but this is all part of progress, because you cannot be allowed to have time to sit and reflect. You go and ask the average person, why are you here on earth? What's your purpose? What's your end game strategy? The shit is gonna be convoluted, watered down, because they've never contemplated these things, because they don't contemplate. They don't think. What Brother Bobby say? Automatons. Full automation. There is a conspiracy against reflection. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of these cats who pontificate, on these platforms and things, man, they've been put there just to try to lead people around in circles. Let me tell you something. Nobody has a plan for you that's gonna save your life and save your existence here. Nobody has that plan. Nobody. Hear me. I'm going to say it again. Nobody has a plan that's going to make your life. Listen to me. There's only one purpose: to expand. God contracted itself so that it could expand. So if I was only created doing the contraction part of God. Now listen to me closely. You have entities that were a part of the expansion that contracted itself so that it could expand again. And then you had entities that were only created during the contraction phase of God. Now, if I was created during the contraction phase, then I only want existence to remain in the contracted phase of its existence. So I'll give you something like a Black Panther movie to make you feel better about being in a contracted state. And you'll wear some dashikis, you'll put on a tam, you'll wear your RBG colors and all of that, and you're gonna be like, man, yeah, we woke, hashtag woke. And all you have is an emotional outburst, but you have not dealt with the expansion of God. You dealt with the showpieces of the contraction, or what they call the Maya, the illusion. When you study Kabbalah, they say to get to Kether, you can't fully experience Kether in a body because it's too much. So Kether is expressed in Exodus when Moses goes up on Mount Sinai and God's over in it's the burning bush. God is the burning bush. And Moses cannot look at it because it's too great, it's too magnificent. That's Kether, that's the crown. And that is what is truly yours. That is your expanded state that you are going back to the crown. And that ain't even the end of it. There's something beyond that. What we call the triple goddess, Ein Sof, that comes even before the crown. That's the expansion. And you can't go there unless you came from there. And that's why, like Panic say, it's the same story over and over. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, how many, like the brother told me, that they were looking for vibranium, and vibranium came from iridium, and that's just ore, iron ore. Iron ore is found where? In the core of the earth. Core is synonymous with what? Heart. Core becomes cardio. Cardio is heart. Now you got the goddess Core. And then you have a whole book called the Quran. And what color is the Quran? It is green. That's the secret. It's the book of the heart. So all those threats that you hear in the Quran, that's the heart talking to the rest of the body, which would be, as the world is the body, and the heart is the core. And the heart keeps telling you, fool, don't you know we created you? That would be the heart, and all of the tributaries and arteries and things that emerge from it and flow blood back to it. That is what made you and sustains you and moves you, is the heart. That is the whole secret of the Quran. It is the book of the heart. And that's the crux of everything. So they keep talking about something comes from somewhere else, and it's some meteoric like thrust into the earth. The same story with Superman. Superman came from another planet, and he was thrust into the earth. Iron ore, meteor. It's the same story. I appreciate that, Sir Big Head. Telling everybody to hit that like button. Sure hope you do. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I ain't got too much longer. I can stay on here like, damn, it's 1:55. Now, Conscious Thinker said, Hemet never said it like that. Now, I don't know. I don't know what part you're talking about. He never said it like that, but you know, that's what it boils down to. It is the heart is the most feared. It is the most feared thing. Period. Is that heart waking up? Because that heart is where the fire goes through. The fire has to go through the heart. That's the purification. Fire comes out of hell. So Conscious Thinker talked about opening the gates of hell. Well, they don't want to open the gates of hell, because the gates of hell open, and that's the fire shoots up, and then it goes through the heart, it's purified, and then it goes up to its next destination, which is in the mind. So when Adam and Eve were thrust out of the garden, what was put at the east gate? A flaming sword and a cherubim. And the east gate is the heart. The heart is in the east. See, Fremanel taught us that. Your heart is the east. The front is the east. He said the black man is buried in a shallow grave in the east. That's the heart. The west, where the sun sets, is your spine. Set, sat, Saturn, Satan, sin. You find s, si, se, sa. They're all synonymous. The west. Okay. So they don't want those gates to open, because that means that everything that is not real gets burnt up. So then they always moving on threats. Threats. And you wonder, why is it everything's already set up in your favor and you're always threatened? You always feel like somebody's going to take something from you, when all you do is take from other people. It's all you do. All you do is steal. All you do is kill. All you do is lie. All you do is cheat. But you're always looking over your shoulder, worried that somebody's trying to get what you say is yours. It's because those who are very, very much in the know, they know what time it is. Okay. Now those on the lower levels, they're just running on the subconscious program that makes them up. That's what they know. All they know is fear. All they know is hate. It's just innate. It's in their blood that they feel threatened all the time. Always feel threatened. Always have to make sure that you confirm to them their superiority. Okay? But on the higher levels, they know. They know why they feel threatened. See, the lower level don't know why they feel threatened. They just do. So your job is to stay focused on what you're supposed to do. And I'm going to tell you, it is this simple. Knowledge. I don't care what any of these people try to run around here and say this and that and da da da. And it still comes down to knowledge. It still comes down to knowledge. And knowledge is not just sitting and reading a book. It's not just watching some YouTube videos. It's all encompassing. It is having the discipline to pick up a book. It is picking up knowledge off of YouTube where you can, watching a documentary up, and it's observing things going on around you, listening to what people are saying, paying attention to your surroundings, and then it's experimenting. You have to experiment. And what life will do to you is, if once you get to a certain, that's right, knowing the ledge and knowing how to, step off that ledge, you would definitely fall. Let me tell you what knowledge really is along those lines. Knowledge is a constant growing understanding of how much more you need to learn. Have you ever noticed a real dumb motherfucker don't know that they're dumb? And they'll talk to you and think that they know, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they got a little bit of money or whatever, or this and that, and they assume that, they know more about whatever than you do. It is because they're so dumb that they don't know that they don't know. The true way to determine a person's intelligence is just to witness how hungry they are to know something, or just to know, period. Intelligent people are intelligent because they are always trying to learn something. And they're always humble to the overarching theme of divine gnosis. They always know that this gnosis is always leaves something more to be desired. It's never completely apprehended, so that's why they keep going. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've come across a lot of egotistical people, especially just online stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, the new thing now is everybody's talking to you. Not everybody, but a lot of people are talking to you about how you don't need to be doing this and doing that, but they're talking to you and giving you their advice, and then telling you how you don't need a book and this and that and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, motherfuckers sitting talking to you and providing their opinion on shit, but they'll provide it in a way as though it's the gospel. But then telling you you don't need this and you don't need that. I think that's some government shit too. Don't you know there ain't gonna be no motherfucking books in about 10 years? Tops. There ain't gonna be none. And that means once all those are gone, the internet, they already showing you they play with the internet. They change information all the time. That's the that go your Mandela effect. Get it? Everybody's so dependent. Oh, excuse me. Everybody's so dependent on, you know, everything's digital, 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 digital. And everybody is, yeah, you better believe it, 1984. What's up, Candace? Almighty. I ain't no topic. I'm just babbling. I talked about Black Panther a little bit. Purpose of consciousness, and we just going in. I know I'm about to have to get my ass off here in a minute, because I'm on the death watch. Damn, the death watch. We talked about death too. But yeah, I mean, we just got to put things in perspective, you know, and really, let me tell you something. You better be soaking up all you can right now, because I think pretty soon they're gonna I am now on a research team looking for young males for research. Mind-boggling. Damn. Yeah, we need you. I'm gonna tell you what I need you to do, Candace. I need you to go and look up Jewel Pookrum. Oh shit. Let's see. Yo, before you do that message the other day was fire. I hear you. I don't know which one you talking about, Erica, but thank you. Yeah, yeah. One of their delicacies. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Jewel Pookrum is who you need to become, Candace. We need you to function in that capacity. You'll understand when you go and listen to some of her, because you have access to some things. Well, we'll talk about it. But I'm gonna tell you how, and I don't have to wrap this up. We'll have to do this again now that I finally got my camera working. But I got to figure out how to fix this lag time. But the way the technology is. Oh, okay. Yeah. That was yesterday. Right on. Yeah, it wouldn't load right, so I couldn't put it up. But I think that one may have been just for who heard it at the time anyway. You know, sometimes it's like that. But the technology now is, they don't really have to go and cut anything out your head anymore, I don't think. And they don't have to, you know, we're still thinking kind of antiquated. The technology, you got to think, is nano now. So nobody needs to actually go and probe you literally. It is your thoughts are being hacked. Your thoughts are being hacked if you're not fortifying yourself. That's the new I can tell y'all about. There's so many, just It's the stuff is subtle. The stuff we're looking at is not where the stuff is really coming from. We're looking at things that are put out in front of us in media. Those things, those are just distractions. It's the subtle places. Like I'm gonna throw one out here for you. I want y'all to chew on this. When I was growing up, your dentist office was only, there was just a few dentists in town, and they were normally in your more well-to-do neighborhoods, and you had to drive over there to the dentist. Now, I want to ask you this. Have you noticed in your city where there are dentist offices popping up in these low-income areas all over the place? Has anybody noticed that in your city? Low-income dentists everywhere. Smile Dentist, Mint Dentistry, and all these. Down here, there's an explosion in the dental industry. Now ask yourself why. Do you know there's a biocompatible uh, resin glass filling that can be put in your tooth now? You know what biocompatible, it means that it can merge with your cells. Now just put on your thinking cap this evening. I want you to think about this. If I have created, through studying metaphysics and occult science, I've stolen technology to create what's called nanotech. Ain't that something? Wouldn't let you keep your wisdom tooth. I bet they kept it. But this nanotech, then that means if I want to put a program, I can program it, because by the time you get a feeling, I mean, that's some, compared to nanotechnology, that's like putting a gnat on the planet Earth. You know, when you're talking about comparison of size. Okay? You see these sci-fi movies where they come up behind you and shoot you in the back of your neck with some type of charge, and person fall out or die or whatever. Well, they have a new sedative technique where they don't have to shoot you with a needle. They can come up behind you and give you an electrical charge and sedate you before a dental procedure. So the way that real stuff moves is it's subtle, and it goes out in the world in industries that you won't pay attention to, and you'll see them as services. Okay? And they're actually implementing the real shit. It ain't the stuff you see on TV, and it's not what you would normally think. Their game is subtle. That's what I'm telling you. Don't get bogged down when all these people want to tell you, debating about the earth is flat and all that. I really don't give a shit about the earth flat, round, and all, because that's I'm telling you, these things pop up out of nowhere. All of a sudden everybody's debating over this. Man, 8 years ago wasn't nobody debating on that. It might have been some little, fringe here and there, but this shit has gone bananas, and people have jumped on the bandwagon, like they want to, getting belligerent about it. Like, motherfucker, I gotta pay rent. The fuck, if this motherfucker round or a triangle, I still got rent due on the first. I still got light bill, I still got human shit, and that is not gonna do anything for me on a God level. So just give you some shit to distract you. So this is how it works. So a lot of this shit is just all distraction. And in the meantime, the real stuff goes on undetected because you don't be looking for it there. Let me tell you, true magician is always looking for signs, symbols, and wonders everywhere. You want to know number one step to becoming a magician is pay attention. You know the number one thing to being a witch, a wise woman, ladies, is pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to everything around you. Fellas, you want to be a wizard? Pay attention. Don't you see in all the movies, what do the wizards and the witches use? They use ingredients that they can find all around them. And that's how they put a potion or a spell together. That's alchemy. Just pay attention. The real shit is going on all around you in the areas that you ain't looking at. You know, that's where the shit is going down. So I think that's gonna wrap it up. You know, hopefully, you know, I'm gonna do these more often. I enjoyed it. And I'm thinking about setting up one of these. I don't know. You notice on my channel I don't do any no ads, no commercial shit, you know. And because I like to be able to just kind of just say what I say, and you know, and I don't really care about trying to appease an advertiser. But I have been thinking about setting up a Patreon because these are just little snippets, these little things. I want to do some real lectures, but you know, you need resources to pull them off. You know, I have a cameraman that I can use. I got a couple, and I have a guy who does my website work. But we're talking about business and commerce. These people have to eat, so they got to charge. So it will help. I might set up a Patreon, and if you know, if y'all feel like the content that comes out, goes forth on this channel is edifying, then you know, I welcome your support, and it'll help to be able to produce better content and to put out more thorough content. I want to show you there's so much I'm just sitting on because I just need the time and the resources just to really put it together. I want to show you something. If you want to support, two, another thing, because this video is lagging, I gotta wait and hold these up till I can see myself and see that you can see it. You can go to my website, you can get Symbolism 101, and you can get Decoding the Matrix. That's one way you can help support, so we can keep producing more content. And you know, so one thing I like to do is get a decent camera, so I don't always have to hire somebody all the time and just be able to shoot some stuff here at the house and do some lectures and things. But there is much, much, much for us to hash out. And man, but either way, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Stay tuned, because a lot of things are going to be coming. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you are a subscriber, hit that bell so you'll know when, we're doing something. I'm doing a live stream or when video is posted. And share these things on your different social media platforms, and let's get some of this knowledge out here, and let's expand like God is supposed to do. Oh yeah, the music is still, yeah, you can get the music on my website. The website is mastersofthecosmos.com. I got 2 albums on there, Revolution, Made Man. You can support. Singles ain't nothing but 99 cents for a single. And I want to send a shout out to this brother. I think his name is Jared. Jared, he purchased, brother in Oklahoma. He purchased a book today. My book is The Lies Behind the Tithes, Keys to Higher Consciousness. He got a copy, a digital download of the book. He got an album, and he got a what's the name of the thing? He got a DVD. One of the DVDs I just put up. Mastersofthecosmos.com. And I really appreciate that, So Monday I'll be heading to the post office after around about lunchtime, going to happily send off his DVD to him. But all support is welcome. I appreciate y'all's energy. I appreciate y'all's feedback, all the emails I get, encouraging words, and we're just going to keep doing what God's do, expand. So with that said, perfect time to sign off because it's 2:22, right on time. This brother Jamal reminding y'all to stay down until you get up. And when you get up, stay down. Peace.